Meet Boba. He weighs 12 pounds, pays zero rent, contributes nothing to society, and is currently staring at a blank wall with the absolute confidence of a Roman emperor. In the corner sits a $500 multi-level luxury cat tree, engineered with organic sisal rope and orthopedic memory foam. Boba has never touched it. Instead, his primary daily occupation appears to be testing the laws of gravity on expensive glassware, slowly, while making direct eye contact. And what do we do when this 12-pound apex predator destroys our property? We apologize, clean up the mess, and serve him gourmet salmon. From an evolutionary standpoint, this makes no sense. For 10,000 years, humans domesticated animals for utility. We turned wolves into guard dogs, wild boar into livestock, and horses into transport. So how did a small, solitary desert predator convince the most dominant species on Earth to become its permanent housekeeping staff? The answer is simple. We didn't domesticate cats. They domesticated us. To understand the greatest heist in biological history, we have to rewind 10,000 years to the Fertile Crescent. Humanity had just invented agriculture. For the first time ever, humans stopped wandering and built massive granaries to store food for the winter. It was a triumph of human civilization. There was just one catastrophic problem. Storing thousands of pounds of grain in one place created an all-you-can-eat buffet for the house mouse. Within decades, rodent populations exploded by 400%. They weren't just eating the food, they were destroying food security and spreading disease. Humans tried bringing in domesticated dogs to hunt the mice. But an 80-pound dog chasing a 2-ounce mouse inside a fragile clay granary was like releasing a bull in a china shop. Human civilization was facing an existential crisis. We needed a precision predator, something small, silent, nocturnal, and relentlessly lethal. We didn't have to find it. It found us. Enter Felis libica, the African wildcat, a solitary territorial desert hunter. Unlike wolves, wildcats had zero social hierarchy. They didn't obey alpha leaders, and they certainly didn't take orders from humans. But wildcats were smart enough to recognize a jackpot. Human villages were swarming with fat, slow grain mice. So the wildcat simply invited itself inside. This was the turning point. Humans saw the cat-killing pests and said, "You can stay." The cat looked at the humans and thought, "I was staying anyway. Now don't touch me." When humans domesticate an animal, we actively breed them for specific behavioral traits over thousands of generations. This is called artificial selection. In 2017, geneticists sequenced DNA from over 200 ancient cat remains across 9,000 years. The results? Modern house cats are genetically almost indistinguishable from wild cats. While dogs shrank their teeth and rewired their brains to please us, cats kept their razor-sharp claws, hyper-lethal hunting instincts, and complete solitary independence. Because they were so useful at killing ship mice, Viking sailors carried them on ships across the globe. Cats conquered every continent on Earth without ever lifting a finger. We thought we had adopted a helpful farm assistant. In reality, we had just invited a wild, solitary, apex predator into our bedrooms. Which brings us to the real mystery. If they never changed, how did they tame us? Psychological weapon. Number 1. The meow. Adult cats in the wild almost never meow at each other. They communicate through scent markers, body posture, and hissing. The meow is an artificial acoustic frequency developed almost exclusively for communicating with humans. Over thousands of years, cats discovered that making a specific vocal sound caused humans to produce food. In 2009, researchers at the University of Sussex discovered a hidden high-frequency cry embedded inside the low-pitched purr. That hidden frequency sits precisely between 300 and 600 hertz, the exact acoustic frequency of a crying human infant. When our brain hears that frequency, it bypasses our logical circuitry and directly triggers our primitive evolutionary instinct to nurture and protect an infant. Psychological weapon number 2, the baby schema, or neoteny. Humans are biologically hardwired to release dopamine and oxytocin whenever we see features resembling a human baby. Cats possess the exact geometrical proportions of a human infant. Their large round eyes and round faces trigger a massive oxytocin flood in the human brain. chemically addicting us to their presence. And if acoustic manipulation and visual baby trapping weren't enough, there is weapon number 3. A literal, microscopic mind control parasite called Toxoplasma gondii. Toxoplasma gondii can only reproduce sexually inside the digestive tract of a cat, which means it needs to get inside a cat to survive. When a rodent becomes infected, the parasite migrates to the mouse's brain and physically rewires its neural pathways. It turns off the mouse's innate fear of cat odor. The parasite replaces fear with a chemical attraction to cat urine. The infected mouse actively seeks out cats, ensuring it gets eaten so the parasite can complete its life cycle. Today, an estimated 1/3 of the global human population carries this brain parasite. Neurological studies suggest infected humans show subtle behavioral shifts, including reduced reaction times, increased risk-taking, and an elevated fondness for cats. Acoustic frequency hacking, baby schema visual traps, and a brain rewiring intestinal parasite. Felis catus didn't just adapt to human civilization, they engineered a biological checkmate. And look at the results today. Today, there are over 600 million domestic cats inhabiting every single continent except Antarctica. They achieved global dominion without ever signing a treaty, fighting a war, or working a single day. When humanity invented the internet, what did we use it for? We used it to upload billions of photos and videos of cats doing absolutely nothing. We provide climate-controlled real estate, free medical care, daily gourmet dining, and litter sanitation. In exchange, they occasionally allow us to touch their forehead for 3 seconds before biting our hand. We buy them orthopedic plush beds, and they sleep on the crinkled paper receipt. We buy them interactive motorized mice, and they play with a plastic bottle cap. If an alien visitor arrived on Earth and observed a human picking up warm animal feces in a plastic bag while the animal watched loftily from a velvet cushion, who would the alien conclude is the master? In the grand chessboard of evolution, survival of the fittest doesn't always mean being the biggest, the strongest, or the most hardworking. Sometimes, true evolutionary genius is realizing that if you look cute enough, make a tiny baby noise, and refuse to do any work whatsoever, someone else will conquer the world for you. You don't own a cat. You are simply participating in a 10,000-year-old biological internship. And the worst part is, we would do it all over again. Now, if you'll excuse me, my cat just meowed, which means my 12-pound landlord requires his evening salmon. Thanks for watching Around Us Explains.